So when someone wants to hire you to speak, what questions should you ask them?
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
So let's say you get an email and someone says, hey, we want to hire you. We saw a presentation of you. We think you're God's gift to earth. We definitely want to hire you. What do you cost? So that's usually the email that you get. So what questions should you ask them? Well, you want to ask them questions, the basic questions. And I wrote these questions down because normally we have like an email template and I just copy and paste the questions. So I don't really memorize them. So here's the questions that you want to ask them. Oh, by the way, you want to get back to them within at least 24 hours. I mean, if you're traveling, then 48 hours max, but really you want to get back to them as soon as possible. But yeah, just get back to them as soon as possible. So here are the questions. First, you want to obviously ask about the details of their event. So just say, can you tell me the details of your event? And make this more of an open-ended question, simply because you want them to reveal as much as possible when they're talking about their event. That way you can kind of picture in your head exactly what you're going to be doing. One thing that I learned a long time ago, and this was from performing actually, before I was ever speaking. So when I was just doing shows, I would ask people, well, I wouldn't ask people too much about their event. I would simply ask them, how long would you want me to perform for, and that sort of stuff. So what I found out is when I would appear there, the reality would be different. So now I simply say, give me details about your event, and if they say we want you to do this. Well, based on the details of their event, I know what I will be doing. I know what's going to actually happen. So you want to hear as many details about the event as possible so you can kind of get a picture of what you're going to be doing. I mean, if they say it's going to be a breakout session, there's going to be 20 people there, you know what's going to happen. You know how you're going to change your presentation. But if on the other hand, you don't know that and they just say, we want you to deliver a massive presentation and have this huge PowerPoint and have a circus behind you. You know you're going to think like, man, this is freaking 20 people. This is a breakout session. I can't be doing all that. So that's what this is going to allow you to do. The next question you want to ask is, where exactly is the event? And you need to know where exactly the event is. You don't want them to say, oh, the event is in Washington. You want them to say, here's the address. And you want them to say that because you don't want to have to ask them again when they book you. So when they book you, you should already have all the information you need. And you don't want them to book you and you say, where's the address again? So you want to have the exact address of where this event is at. So now you want to ask them, what's the exact date of the event? What's the exact date that you're going to be presenting? And you want to ask this because sometimes they'll say the event is December 1st through the 3rd. But you need to know which date are you going to be on, the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So you want to ask them, what date will you be presenting on? Now you want to ask them, how long will you be presenting for? So this will give you an idea, can you actually present that long? If they say, we want you for 6 hours, can you actually present that long? So obviously the longer they want you to present, the more it's going to be in terms of your speaking fee. But you need to learn, you need to know how long they want you to present for. Now you need to ask, what's the outcome that they're looking for? What's the outcome you're looking for? This gives you an idea of what they want from you as a speaker. What you're going to hear them say are things like, we want the crowd to be engaged. We want it to be interactive. That's what you're going to hear from people when you say, what's the outcome that you want? They'll kind of give you more details of what they're expecting, and you need to know their expectations so you don't come in there delivering tons of content when really they were looking for entertainment, when they were looking for engagement. So you need to know what outcome they want. You need to ask how many people are going to be at their event. And you want to know how many people are going to be there because the bigger the event, the more they're willing to spend and the more they're focused on the experience. Usually bigger events, they're focused on the experience of the event rather than just saying we want to make a ton of money off these people. So the bigger the event, usually the better. And now you want to ask who's the person that they hired last year. And the way you want to word this is you want to say, what's the name of the person you hired last year? And you want to say it just like that. What's the name of the person you hired last year? Not who did you bring last year, or what do you think about the person last year? You want to figure out an exact name to the person they hired last year and use the word hired, because it'll give you several clues. If they say, oh, we don't really hire, then it lets you know that they just want you to speak for free. But if they say we brought in Tony Robbins last year, now you need to know, like, okay, you either got to step up your game, or it lets you know what they expect from you as a speaker. If they brought in a top-notch speaker, they brought in Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, well, now you need to know like, okay, you can't be a scrub at this event because last year they brought in someone good. So you want to know the name of the person they brought in last year. And the last question you want to ask is, how did you hear about me? And you want to ask this simply because you need to know where to put your marketing dollars into. So if people are finding you on the internet, you're going to put more marketing dollars into however you get found on the internet. Google AdWords, maybe you do a lot of content marketing. But keep in mind that this question, you can ask it multiple times. So the first time I'll ask this question is when they first send me that email. I'll say, how did you hear about me? They'll usually say something very generic. Oh, I found you on the internet. Then once they hire me, I'll now talk to them on the phone and I'll say, oh, you said you found me on the internet. What did you type in? Did you type in like motivational speaker? What did you type in? So I'll ask them multiple times until I get as many details as possible, until I get it to a point where they say, oh, we found you by using Google, we typed in motivational speaker. So that's what I want to know. That way I can say, okay, the term motivational speaker, we're gonna up its up the AdWords game by using motivational speaker more. So that's why you want to figure out you want to figure out how they heard about you. And just keep in mind that sometimes it might be someone who's just trying to figure out your speaking fee. I know some of you mofos are sending me emails asking me, hey, we want to book Benji Bruce. What does he charge? I'm on to you guys.